Hey everybody, I want to introduce a new build that I'm doing. It is the Revell Chevy C5-R Corvette, and it's a 2001, and this kit is the one where you can do it in the number 2, which was the 24-hour winner at Le Mans. Or you could have done it in the number 3, which I think they placed second. And that one was driven by Dale Earnhardt Jr., Kelly Collins, and Andy Pilgrim. So the number 3 car is usually the second car in the 2. Usually one of them has the better drivers in it, better lineup, but usually that don't mean everything. You know, they put in all their best drivers into one car in hopes they'll win, and you got the 2. So they thought it'd be really cool to have Dale Earnhardt and Dale Earnhardt Jr. Racing in it, because a lot of times you'll see NASCAR drivers and Formula 1 drivers and everything else in the Le Mans and in the 24-hour at Daytona. And at that time, Earnhardt kind of broke the way for the NASCAR guys also getting into it, because you know how he had big feelings for Daytona. But I am building this kit, but I've already built the number 3 a very long time ago. It was actually before I started the YouTube channel, and that one's not perfect. It's not the best, but here's that. And I had a little masking accident where I pulled off some decals because I kind of did some steps ahead. But I think I'm going to do a little bit of weathering like this, like on the box art, because I already had some overspray. And so I think I'm going to do a little bit of that, and I'm going to fix that front bumper. But this video is not about this car. It is about this one. So on this one, I did get a base coat of paint on it. I tried to go around and do all the panel lines, make sure I scrubbed that out a lot better. That went pretty well. There's a lot of seams on these. A lot of panels come off during the races. And so far, this is how far I got the chassis done. And I scribed those too. They look a lot better with a little bit of scribing. I do have to do some touch-up from touching it so much. Now this kit I got, as you can tell by the box, it was pretty beat to hell. I did get it at a cheaper rate because it didn't have no decals in it. And I was always kind of wondering, well, I can do it so many different ways. How am I going to do this one? Well, I finally found some decals, and it is of the September 11th tribute livery, and this one was in 2001, and it was right after Earnhardt Sr. that passed away from his crash at Daytona. So that will be on the build. And this one was piloted by Scott Pruitt, Johnny O'Connell, and Ron Fellows. I actually got to meet Ron Fellows once and get his signature. Pretty nice guy. But this one is of the number 3 car, which they normally drive the 3 and a 4, in which when Senior drove, he wanted to drive the 3, so then they made the other one the 2. So then they gave him the 3. And they didn't have a problem with it, but they kind of made a big deal on it in the broadcasting to let everybody know that they changed the number just for him, which was pretty nice, because they were pretty happy that he actually drove for him. But this decal sheet is from Decals. It is the one where you have to cut really close to the decal because of the transferring clear is not one that's like a traditional water slide where it's pre-cut. This one you actually have to cut pretty close. And this one is from the Petit Le Mans, like the other one was from Le Mans. So this is from that race. This race usually happens right before Le Mans. But I don't know how the schedule was back then. Well, I guess this one would have been from Grand Dam, and that one would have been the 24 Hours at Daytona, the Rolex 24. So this would have been first, and you would have had the Petit Le Mans, and then the decals that came with it for the 24-hour Le Mans winner would have been this. So Andy Pilgrim and Kelly Collins and Frank Felon, and you can see it has a memory of Earnhardt Sr. Also has Scott Pruitt, Johnny O'Connell, and Ron Fellows in it for the 63, and the 64 would have been for them. And it does have the decals for the 24-hour Le Mans. So technically, if I get this kit one more time, I have a whole nother way of doing it. So really, that kit you can do 4 different ways with just the standard decals that come with it. And since I was missing those decals, I am missing decals inside. But this is a kit where you really don't get to see much of the inside, so I'm not too upset about it. But I have to first get the black on the back end of this, so I have to mask everything off. Once I get the black on this, I should be able to put the water slides on, and then I should be able to clear it and then do some details of all the little silver clips, the exhaust ports. And since this one is going to be the number 3 traditionally does not have these blacked out mirrors and that and the tail or the wing. They're usually all yellow on this one. So I have a little bit less masking. I will have to mask around the windows, and then the windshield right here is, this section's black. So I have to do those, and I have to do the little grill up front, do that black. And so once I got those, I should be good on that. Right now I have to put the decals on the tires, but here's the tires. Got them sanded down. I did a gunmetal gray for the rims. Same color as the roll cage. And I still have to paint the wing. And the mirrors. Other than that, it's just a little bit of assembly, and then it should be all done. The one thing, if you guys have never done these kits, you don't glue the body to the chassis. And the reason you do that is so that way you can pull it apart and you can see the inside of it. And you can see the engine. And this one has the decals for the air intakes and for the dash and the gauges and around the shifter, and then the electronics also have gauges that you cannot see, or decals that you can't see. Those will be missing on the one I'm doing now. It does have decals for the tires, so I will be able to do that. But on this one, this was supposed to be yellow in a real car, and I feel that I did a really bad job masking it and everything, so I'm going to end up painting this flat black, because I think it looks better flat black from what I'm doing this one. So that was one thing that bothered me on this one, so I'm going to try to fix that on this next one, and I'll also fix it for this one here. So I also did a little bit color difference on the roll cage. The roll cages on these are usually a really dark gunmetal, more like that one. I did a red seat instead. Their seats are normally black, but inside these cars are usually so darn dark. I figured I would go with red on this one this time. These hoses, they tell you in the instruction manual do the black and then do this red. When I did the hoses red, I did the vents there in black. I did them silver here, and then the tank, or I don't even know what the heck that's for. These are the fuel lines. They're going beside it. This is probably some kind of cooler of some kind. I did that in silver instead of red, so I did change things up a little bit, just to have it stand out. You can also see that tank inside. I did it red by the battery. This one in here is silver like it says, and it just don't stand out, so I did change that up. I have a little bit more washes to do to this one, and some touching up, and then put the brakes and the wheels on, and then the chassis should actually be done on this relatively soon, and then I can just focus on the body. But hopefully you guys enjoy it. Hopefully, I look forward to getting this one done. I think after I have this one and about 2 more other builds, and then I think I'm going to take a break from race cars for a little bit and try to I think I might do the roadster kits or something, some kind of older car, maybe even a gasser, even though that's a race car. But until next time, hope you have a good one, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.